Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to get a free hosting so you can have your own WordPress website online using Google Cloud Platform, by the way. And I'm going to post a link about the expert explaining what Google Cloud Platform is, and he can explain better than I do. So go check him out. So without further ado, let's get on with it. And first thing first, you need three things. First, your Google account, if you haven't got it already. Second, you need a real credit card, not a prepaid one. Prepaid credit card won't work. I tried it, it doesn't work. Third, you need a domain name. Domain name basically is the address of your website, so people can type into the browser in order to get to your website. So let's that get out of the way. Now you're gonna hit Google Cloud Platform and we're gonna create a new project. So hit new project and give it a name like my own website or whatever project name that you think you can have in there. So just a project name, anything can work. So I'll call it my own website. Hit it and hit view. If you haven't got your credit card set up, you won't see the page. You have to set up your own credit card in order to see this page. So I'm going there and customize all the options. So I turn it off so I don't want to clutter everything. So hit done when you finish and go back to the menu and go into Compute Engine, VM instances. It takes a while, probably a minute or two. So hit create. Go give it a name for your instance, but will be permanent. So instant one is good enough for me for this tutorial. So I'm going to select, depends on where you are, I'm going to select East, where closest to my location. And select first generation CPU, F1 Micro, which is the free tier that Google didn't charge you. I'm gonna select Ubuntu and the long-term support, the minimum one. So I don't want a big Ubuntu version, just the minimum one that I can get. So you don't use a lot of resources, which is, Google can charge you. Give it 25 gigabyte of persistent disk. You can have maximum up to 30 gig for your free one. So make sure you allow web traffic through your firewall and hit create. That's done setting up your machine. Now you need to connect to this machine from your home, from your location, right? So there are a couple of things that you can connect through it, but for simplicity, I'm going to select GCloud SDK. Remember, you got an external IP address here too. So connect to your instance. So as I said, GCloud SDK is the best option for you to connect to your virtual machine on Google. So let's search for Google Cloud SDK from Google to download the installer for your machine. Hit get started, of course. Depends on your operating system you're using right now. So I use Windows. So I'm gonna select Quick Start for Windows. So I already created the project and now I just need to download the installer. So hit save and then just open that installer to install Google Cloud SDK tools in your machines. Follow instruction to get Google Cloud Platform SDK set up. Pretty straightforward. Hit a couple of buttons and you finish. Just for clarifications, this is the tutorial and demo virtual instance of my account. So any password, any username will be deleted anyways. Alright, this is gonna take a while And by the way, this video is going to be a little bit long, so you might have to add it into your favorite. I also add a timestamp for each section in the video, so you can come back later on at exact where you want to follow along. All right. So once that's done, hit next to finish and select the option where you want. So I don't want to create a shortcut for my desktop. I don't want to initialize the Google Cloud because I'm going to use a command to post it on my website. So here I'm just setting up the windows for us to easily see what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna find out the the connect command to my instance. You'll copy this command and paste it in the Google Cloud shell. And I don't want a beta command, so I'm gonna delete this beta in the command line. Hit enter to connect. So because I already have one set up with that, so I got a warning about the potential security breach because it doesn't match with the key. But for you, it should not be a problem. You just accept to hit, accept the key for your own account. Okay, once you get there, you hit with this secure shell. So I'm gonna customize this so we can easily see what the fonts and hit apply. Now let's get bigger, so we can easily see it. All right, guys. So basically now we are connected to our virtual machine on Google. So I'm gonna do the system update, sudo apt update, and once that's done, I'm gonna issue another command, sudo apt upgrade. Hit enter and confirm yes to continue to upgrade your machine. And once it's done, I'm gonna do a sudo apt auto remove to remove some unused packages. So now your system is updated to the latest one. So now I'm gonna do sudo apt install nano. It's like a text a notepad text editing program, software package for you to edit some of the files that we are doing later on. So make sure that you have that installed. So now, because the machine is so small with memory, so I'm gonna create a swap file for this instance. So I search online and go to this web page, and basically I'm just gonna copy and paste into our shell to install a swap file for my system, for the system. Okay, I'm gonna give it 2 GB of swap file. Just from on here, just copy and paste some of the command that you can read through that website on the left column. All right, turn on a swap file. And to make it permanent, you need to edit a fstab file. So every time your machine restart, your swap file will be enabled and activated. So issue a command sudo nano into that file. So now you copy that initialization for your swap petition into the fstab file. Just copy and paste. And once that's done, you can go down, hit Control X to exit. So you see that? And confirm yes to save into that file. Hit enter. And once that's done, now basically your swap file already set up. So now it's just a couple of commands to make sure that your swap file is running and functional. So you can see swap file 2 gigabyte and your memory is 576 megabytes with 160 megabyte use. So another thing is you can read through this left on the website. You can adjust how your swappiness is in your system. So by default you have a 60, so it's more likely to swap the file with a memory. So if you want to use a lot of memory, you can edit this swappiness number. All right, you can read through it and see how to remove the swap file too. So this is done. So now we got your system set up with the swap file and everything. Now I'm just gonna go to GoDaddy to change my domain name, direct my domain name to our host. So I have a domain name called tinla.com. That's my name. I hit DNS to set up. Depends on your domain registrar, but they all have the same function. They all can adjust, create a record to point into this IP address from Google. So I'm just copying that and then make a record, a type A record for your domain to redirect the domain name to your host. So create a type A with the host at and points to the IP address that we copy from Google Cloud. Change the time to live into custom of 600 seconds and hit save. And this should be fast too. It's updates really fast. So there you go. You got it all set up, and that's it for your domain name. That's all you need to set up for your domain name, right? And now we're gonna go to WordPress website, wordpress.org, to see the requirement and what you need to do to have this one up and running. So browse the requirement. You need Apache, which is the web server, the PHP, and the MariaDB. So you need 3 software in order for your WordPress to run. So now we're gonna install all these things, all these requirements for your system. So Apache, now I'm gonna hit the link. I'm gonna post a link for you to easily follow. So basically this is the same thing, installing Apache. So you just copy and paste command into your shell. So do a sudo update and sudo install apt install Apache 2. Hit yes to confirm. I'm just following along some of the tutorial posted online. So sudo, now I'm gonna make a directory for my own domain. Basically it comes with a default, but I don't want to use a default directory for my web, so I'm creating a directory called tinla.com to host my files into it. So I'm gonna change it into that directory, cd-var www/tinla.com. Now I'm in that directory. Now I'm just gonna make a index file so to serve from, so the Apache can serve this file from. So I'm gonna test it out. So all right, so missing a bracket. Now I'm setting up a virtual host configuration file. So copy and paste this command into your shell. So go to the add, and then we're gonna see what's in there. So we're gonna use a list-al so to see what's file available in there. So yeah, you can see that's some of the configuration file. And now we're gonna issue a sudo copy to your new site configuration file. So to copy that default one into your new domain configuration file. How's that? If that makes any sense. All right, once that's done, we're gonna go back into your own domain configuration. So sudo nano tinla.com. You can name this one whatever you want, but I use that as my own. Now we go into this file. We're gonna change some kind of settings here. So we're gonna change the server name. So I'm gonna put your domain name in this place. Okay. I'm gonna delete the www. I don't want to use that, and put a server alias. Some of the domain name has www at the front and some don't, so I just want to use one only so the search engine doesn't confuse, so it will redirect everything into tinla.com only. So the alias, the www is the alias only. So now I'm going to set up my email for server admin. This is what you're going to set up your own email address. And document root, remember that we put a directory to serve the file from, so that's we're going to point the document root to. So hit save, write the name, yes, finish. Now that's it. And once that's done, we need to activate that configuration file. So sudo a2 nsite tinla.com.conf, all right, to enable your site. So now your site is running and enable. You need to reload your Apache 2. So we're gonna do a sudo service Apache 2 reload. So copy and paste into your shell again. That's done. And once that's done, we need to make sure that Apache 2 survive the shutdown and restart of the machine. So we're gonna issue a command sudo systemctl enable Apache 2. So basically it's enable your web server to survive the restart of the machine. So once that's done, basically you have your website up and running right now. So you can search on your line. There you go, tinla.com on the web browser. That's the index file that we created earlier. So you can see it right now. It's online. Basically your website is up and running right now. But we're not gonna stop here. We're gonna go all the way to install WordPress, which is the content management system. It's very complicated. That's why it needs a PHP and some of the database server, MariaDB. So go back to our WordPress website to see what's another requirement. All right, now we got Apache install and running. So we're gonna install MariaDB, basically the same thing MySQL, but for some reason 10 years ago they forked MariaDB forked from MySQL. So I'm gonna clear this page and go back to my home directory. So to clear, sudo apt install MariaDB that server to install the MariaDB. Hit yes to confirm. So it's gonna be a while. Okay, once it's done, basically your database is set up, and we're gonna test to see the server, the version of the MariaDB. So it's 15.1, so greater than 10.1, which is the requirement for WordPress. Okay, so now we're gonna do a secure connection for your database. So issue a command sudo mysql secure installations. Enter your password for root. So basically here you have to set up your root password. Select yes to confirm to set up your root password. Copy down the password because there's so many password and username that you created in this tutorial. So you might forget later on, but whatever the password you use, put it in here, just copy it down somewhere safe. so you can retrieve it later. So basically, this is the password for the database MariaDB with the username root. Now remove anonymous users, yes. To confirm everything is default, yes. Remove test database to access to it, yes. Reload privilege. And that's it. Thanks for using MariaDB. Basically, it's all done. It's all secure for your database. And now we're going to go over here and see the PHP that we need to install. So clear this page. And sudo apt install php, all right, space phpMySQL space Apache lib Apache 2 mod php. So you need to install 3 packages for your PHP. So confirm yes to continue, yes. So far we got installed the Apache 2 and MariaDB. Now we just need to install a PHP to finish the requirement for the WordPress. Now we check the version PHP-V 7.4, so 7.4.3, so which is greater than 7.4 from the requirement. So I'm going to do a restart of the Apache 2's web server to take effect to make sure that it's running now. So now we can go back to our website to see if it's still working. Yes, tinla.com. Still working great, guys. So nothing breaks. Now we got all things ready. So we got the Apache, PHP, and MariaDB. Basically, from now on, we can go and install WordPress. But from now on, there's another optional step that you can do to install the phpMyAdmin, which is the package for you to manage your database online. Basically, it's optional, guys. So you don't have to install this for your WordPress website to work, but I installed it anyway, so you can see, you can follow along if you want. Otherwise, you can click fast forward into the next section at the timestamp below the description. So now you enter your password for phpMyAdmin program. So this is the password for phpMyAdmin, different from MariaDB password. So keep it separate and copy it down just in case you forgot. By the time you finish this tutorial and demo, you probably forgot some of the username and password. All right, now you want to set it up for the Apache 2. Select option 1 to configure for that web server. Now go back to your website and phpMyAdmin. You will see something comes up. Right there you go, phpMyAdmin. Now if I try to log in with root password and give it the correct username and password, I won't be able to log in because MariaDB basically locked down, secure the database already, so it won't allow root to access remotely. Now we're gonna set up our database. Okay, before we setting up our database, I'm just gonna copy it down, some of the username, password, and database name for me to remember. Otherwise, I'll probably forget at some point along the setup. As you see, I put up a notepad here, so I won't forget. And now we go back to command line. We're gonna sudo MariaDB to access the MySQL shell. So from the shell, we're gonna issue some of the command to create our database, to set up our database. So create database, WP database, DB, semicolon. Remember to have semicolon at every command. All right. If you have some errors, so make sure you got a semicolon at the end of your line. I'll create another user. I'll call it WP user. So identify by your password, my own password, exclamation mark. All right, semicolon. After that, we're going to grant usage on all. This is a wildcard to user, WordPress user at localhost, identified by your own password. So I'm just going to highlight it and right click to copy and paste, and make sure you got the thing around your password, okay? That little thing there. So I'll grant all on WordPress DB, WPDB dot start to WP user at localhost semicolon to finish your command. Now, once that's done, I'm going to flush privilege semicolon, enter. Now done, quit. That's it. Now we finish setting up our database. From my website, I'm going to log in with the username that we just created over here, and with the password that we just give it to the user. So we're going to log in, try to log in the phpMyAdmin. Oh, I think that I got a wrong password. So make sure that you got the right password though. So I'm just going to copy and paste it much easier. All right, see, you can log in now, right? This phpMyAdmin basically for you to manage your database online easier, right? So there you go, the WPDB that we just created a couple of minutes ago, as you can see. So up until this point, you have created the database. Now WordPress is ready. Now we're just gonna go back to WordPress and download their software to install on our machine. So select copy link location for this tarball file. So now we're gonna issue a command wget the link that we just copied and hit enter to download the file, the tarball file. Once you got it downloaded, you can see latest.tar.gzip. Now we're gonna extract it out using the command tar with the option xvz highlighted and copy as the name. So it extracted out a lot of files. We're gonna change into WordPress directory. So cd WordPress, we're gonna change to that directory. So list. So as you can see, we have the files that we just downloaded and extracted out. So we're gonna move this file into our web server location. Okay, so we're gonna issue a command sudo /start /var/www/ the domain name directory that we created earlier. So cenla.com/ to move all the files. Now we're gonna change to that directory that we just move all the files to. So var cd var www-cenla.com and list all. Now as you can see, all the files that we just moved. Now we're gonna give it the root no, we're gonna take ownership of the files to www-data for the Apache. So as you can see, now we change the ownership of all these files for the Apache 2 user and group. So go back here and hit a handy guide to how to install WordPress into your machines. We finished the first step. We created a database for the WordPress. We've done that already. Now we're gonna go into changing the config file for the WordPress software. We go back in here, we issue a command sudo nano wp-config-sample.php. Now we into this file. We have to edit a couple of things for this file, okay? So remember the password, username and password for your database in there. Now we're just gonna go in here and change the database name to the one that we created earlier. So WPDB, and with the username WP user. So for the password, say my own password, exclamation. Now you get into this section here. basically they tell you to go to this website to get a secret key for your installation. Okay, so we're gonna copy this link, highlight it, and hit Control C on your keyboard. Now go to your browser and paste it into the web. So now select all that information, copy that, and we're gonna paste it in this config file. So be careful where your cursor is. You use your arrow from your keyboard to move and enter to have a line, to enter a line. So make sure you copy into your clipboard and go back your cursor and hit the right key on your mouse to get it pasted into this file. And basically I just delete the old ones out. We don't need that information. So this is your secret key for your WordPress setup. Everyone is different. So now we hit Control X to save, and we're gonna save it into wp-config.php. Confirm yes to save a different name. So now we're gonna list all that. So as you can see, there's a wp-config.php that we just created from the sample file. Now we just have to delete that sample file out. So issue a command sudo rm remove, I guess. That's the short form for remove, and then that's file. Also, you remember that we created the index.html file early on. So we need to remove that file too. Otherwise, you won't get access to your WordPress setup. So we're gonna issue another command sudo rm index.html to remove the file that we created earlier. I already removed it, so that's why it gives an error that it cannot remove, but you need to do that. All right. So now your database is set up, your WordPress is set up, everything is set up. Now you hit your tinlaw.com domain name. Now you got into this page, you set up your own WordPress website. So issue another username, use your whatever username you want to use, and with your own password, again, copy it down just in case you want to get back into this to edit your content. Okay, so I'll copy it down, save it into your text file, whatever, so you can have that information later on. You're gonna forget about all these username and password, and give it your username, your email address, just in case you forgot your username and password, just to be safe side. Now hit install WordPress and put admin and your own password to log in these to set up your WordPress. So once you log in, basically you're finished setting up your WordPress and it's live with your own domain name. Now you got your website up and running. You can see it's a very clean WordPress website. You can customize whatever you want for your website. There's theme online you can download or you can purchase to install into your WordPress. But the thing is that your website is not secure. As you can see, connection not secure. So basically every time you enter password, someone can see it, your ISP or whatever who snoop around with all these things. So basically your website is not secure with that lock crossing. All right, so I'm gonna show you how to secure your website using Let's Encrypt with the Certbot as a package for your system. So go onto your Certbot website and tell them that you're using Apache software, a web server on a Ubuntu system. So they would list what you need in order to install Certbot to secure your website. You need to access your command line HHH into the server. We have it already on the right side. So now we're just gonna clear this screen so we can see better. Again, we just gonna do copy and paste as the tutorial from the website to update our virtual instance. So once that update, we're going to install the software property common package for Certbot to function properly. Hit yes to confirm to continue. And we're going to add this in there. But I think that's already, this one, the repository is already in there with the Ubuntu 20.04. It's already enabled in all sources. Okay, now we're going to do the update again. So nothing to update. Then the installation of Certbot is copy this command and paste it into your shell. So confirm yes again to install Certbot. Once Certbot is finished setting up, now we issue a command to sudo certbot Apache to hook with our Apache web server. So enter your email address here for renewal purposes because it can only activate for 90 days. So every 90 days you have to renew. So A, to agree to your user license and select yes or no. I already subscribed to this one, so I select no. So leave it blank to accept all the website that you have and confirm our redirection rule for the website. So basically, if someone access your www.domainname.com, and it will direct to your domainname.com only. It doesn't, separate between the two. Basically, it redirect. So select to confirm redirection. So congratulations, your certificate and Jane have been saved at blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's already set up. Now go outside and access your website again. See if it's activated. Your website is secure with a lock. How great is that? And this is free from Let's Encrypt. This is the end of our tutorial. And remember, don't forget to leave any comment if you have any questions about this video. I hope that you find it useful. If you like it, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Until then, I'll see you next time.